Whenever you take that 220, keep in mind, you're not hurting just yourself. You're hurting others out there that are trying to make a living. I want to talk about what happens if you are taking the $225 deliveries. See, in the corporate America, there's a thing, supply and demand. If there's too much of supply, the price start dropping. If there's a huge demand and a lack of supply, the price is rising. That's what controls literally everything that has a dollar value onto it, from homes to cars to items on the shelf, including when it comes down to our apps. If there is too many deliveries need to be done and not enough of drivers, that means there's just too much of a supply. The price will go up. And that's why we start seeing peak pay. But when there's too many drivers and not enough of uh, orders, not enough of supply, but too much of drivers, then you start having an issue where DoorDash believes if enough of times they send that 225 out, somebody eventually will take it because they are tired of sitting and doing nothing. But now let's talk about the DoorDash and about the 225. Their system is designed, if they send it out to a certain amount of drivers, that 225, and it's not taken, they'll actually up the price until somebody decides to take that certain price that they'll opt to. We'll go 325, 425, 525, even 625. Eventually, somebody will take it at the price that actually they believe is a good price. But what happens if you take that 225 before they up the price? It lets DoorDash know there is enough of drivers out there that will take the 225 and they do not need to up the price. Give you an example. Let's say they get an order that has no tip and they send it out to the first driver at 225 and everybody declines at 225. Nobody takes it in this market. They won't bother sending to a second, third, and a fourth driver the 225. They'll immediately up the price to 325. But let's say there is drivers that do take the 225 in that area, then they'll try to find those drivers before they up the price. Because end of the day, the less they can pay you for the delivery, the more they can actually save and show that they actually turn some profit, or take that money and put it toward driverless delivery or whatever other project that they might be running. So that's why the 225, it's a very dangerous road if you decide to take. And when you continue taking the 225, you're telling DoorDash that the price is too high for a delivery and you need to drop the base pay again. And this summer, we are suspecting a drop of base pay because of too many drivers are taking that 225. So the next time you take that 225, remember, you're not just hurting yourself by taking a delivery that's just not worth it. Because however you calculate it, whatever you do is just, there is no math that can support that 225 is actually a worth a delivery. Now, whenever you take that 220, keep in mind, you're not hurting just yourself. You're hurting others out there that are trying to make a living. Because the more you will take of those 225s, the longer DoorDash will try to send those 225 out to the drivers before they up the price. Here's something else that recently I kind of, changed my mind and I seen it from a different view. There is drivers out there that say, are you lazy? Are you stupid? Is something wrong with you? Why you will not fill a drink? See, the story to me is the same thing as the driver that takes the 225 as the driver that d- fills the drink. The more we take the 225, the sooner we will see the base pay being at $2, $1.75, $1.50, eventually $1, and eventually the base pay will become a zero. Same thing with drinks. The more drivers will take the drinks, the faster we'll start prepping. The faster we'll get to a point where we'll start prepping French fries. And then we'll go into the kitchen and we'll start preparing those sandwiches. They'll create a special area at these McDonald's and other places where we driver entry only, and we'll get a code on our phone that we'll type into enter, and sooner and it will get to a point where we will be going in and prepping the food for the customer. So the 225 or the filling the drink is about the same thing. See, at one point, DoorDash had a 5, a 7, and a $10 base pay. That's the same thing as we, for a long time, had just a job of just doing deliveries only. We did not have to touch the food and prepare the food. Then eventually the price of the base pay started dropping. Now we start seeing more and more restaurants get on board with filling drinks. And eventually will become very popular where most restaurants will ask us to fill drinks. By the time when most restaurants will start asking us to fill drinks, McDonald's and a few other places will start figuring out how to get us to fry our own uh, French fries to our customer. And it will just be a testing stage before they roll out a full food preparation process. Yes, there might be some kind of a kickback from a restaurant. I do not know for that. But if we continue going that road, as a lot of you and majority of you are doing so by filling these drinks, keep in mind, soon the world will be different and you will be not just delivering, but also prepping. Be blessed.